Welcome, dear listeners, to another heart-stirring tale on Swoon Stories, a place where love defies logic and fate weaves its most tangled designs. Have you ever wondered if a single night could change the course of two lives forever? Tonight, I invite you into a world of hidden memories and unexpected vows, where two strangers tie the knot for reasons neither can predict. May this story warm your heart, stir your soul, and remind you that love's true inheritance is more than gold. What secret would you uncover if you married a stranger tonight? May love guide your path and hope light your way. A silken envelope, sealed with an ebony crest, arrived at Dr. Elias Kensington's study just as the dying sun painted the city in molten gold. He ran long fingers over the embossed logo, the mark of the Hawthorne fortune, before tearing it open. No hesitation tonight, he reminded himself, though his pulse thrummed with reluctant anticipation. Inside lay the terms: an arranged marriage, contract, sign by midnight, inherit the Hawthorne estate, refuse, and the fortune pass to a distant cousin. His jaw tightened. I, Elias Kensington, agree. A tremor of dread curled in his chest. At the grand Hawthorne Hall, crystal chandeliers cast prismatic light upon white marble columns. Guests whispered as the clock tolled 9. Elias stood at the altar's end, tailored in midnight black, his broad shoulders rigid. From the rose-lined aisle emerged her, a vision in ivory lace, chin raised, eyes blazing emerald. She walked with such defiance that even the sculpted angels seemed to pause. Miss Vivienne Hart, the registrar announced. Vivienne's gaze met Elias's, icy, unreadable. Her arms were crossed, as though challenging the world. Yet a single rose petal drifted from her sleeve. Why do I feel I've seen her before? Elias wondered, each heartbeat echoing in his ears. They joined before witnesses. Neither spoke. A hush fell when the registrar asked, "Do you, Elias?" He trailed off at the sight of her trembling fingers. Vivienne swallowed, lips curving, into a defiant smile. "I do," she said, voice steady but rich with emotion. A gasp rippled through the crowd, not for her acceptance, but because Vivienne Hart was the Hawthorne family's sworn enemy. Her late father had sued them for treachery years ago. Elias's breath caught. Enemy? Bride? Stranger? Vows were recited in clipped tones. The air brimmed with tension. As they exchanged rings, lightning crackled against the stained glass windows, and thunder rumbled like an omen. When Elias slid the ring onto Vivienne's finger, their eyes locked, and for a breath, time unraveled. She's familiar. Later that evening, beneath a sky strewn with stars, Elias led his new bride to the candlelit suite. The scent of jasmine drifted through open windows. Vivienne paused by the fireplace, tracing its carved mantle. "Is this really happening?" she whispered. Elias offered a tentative smile. "It seems so." Silence stretched, candles flickered. Then Vivienne produced a small, worn locket from her pocket, its silver filigree tarnished with age. She opened it and gasped, hand trembling. Inside lay 2 faded photographs, a boy and a girl, 9 years old, laughing under an oak tree. Elias's breath caught. The boy was unmistakable. Himself, before the betrayals, before the scars. Vivienne's eyes filled with tears. "Elias?" His voice was a whisper. "Vivienne?" In that instant, the room seemed to tilt. Their shared past, buried beneath contracts and rivalries, had resurfaced. And as thunder cracked outside, they realized their forced union might be far more than a mere arrangement. Late the next morning, Elias wandered the sunlit corridors of Hawthorne Hall, the locket's photograph etched in his mind. The scent of polished mahogany and fresh lilies trailed behind him. He paused outside the wing marked Children's sanctuary. His pulse fluttered. Why did this estate have a sanctuary? Pushing open the carved doors, he found a bright playroom, walls painted with rainbows and gentle animals. A small boy with golden curls giggled as he built a block tower. A woman, Vivienne, kneeled beside him, tying his shoelaces and whispering encouragement. She's helping the orphans? He watched, astonished, as Vivienne planted a kiss on the child's forehead and ruffled his hair. Warmth flooded Elias's chest. This is the kindness I never expected. Vivienne straightened and looked up. Her eyes widened at Elias's silhouette in the doorway. A child called her Miss V, and she knelt to gather tiny hands into hers. Who is he? The boy asked, tilting his head. Vivienne offered a gentle smile. A friend who came to visit. Elias cleared his throat. Tell me about this place. She rose, brushing stray hair behind her ear. I've been managing our family's orphanage for years, secretly funded by Hawthorne funds sent through an anonymous donor. Elias swallowed. You did this? She nodded, gaze downcast. My father once fought the Hawthorns, yet I could never forget my childhood savior's gift. Medicine after I fell ill. I wanted to return that grace. My mother's clinic. Funds, he realized. She paid for my sister's surgery. Their eyes locked. Memories surged. 2 children under an oak tree, sharing a tin cup of lemonade, promising to protect one another. Vivienne's breath trembled. You were there? Elias stepped forward, voice hushed. So was I. A tremor of recognition passed between them. In that moment, their forced union felt like fate's embrace. By dusk, Hawthorne Hall buzzed with the arrival of guests for the annual spring gala. The ballroom shimmered with crystal and gold. Orchids perfumed the air. Violins wept a lilting waltz. Vivienne found Elias near the grand staircase. She trembled, handing him an envelope sealed with the same ebony crest as his contract. I received this today, she said. He broke the seal. Inside was a photograph. Vivienne in her orphanage, office, pen in hand, smiling as she signed paperwork. Beneath, a note in spidery handwriting. Your secret will destroy him. Beware the costs of deceit. Elias's jaw tightened. Who would do this? Vivienne's lip quivered. I don't know. A murmur rippled through the guests. Someone was watching. As they ascended the staircase to greet dignitaries, Elias squeezed Vivienne's hand. Trust her. Trust her. But as he talked to the other family heads, a carriage rolled up outside. Through the window, he glimpsed a sharp-featured man in a tailored suit. A man whose face he recognized from old headlines. Damien Harrow, Vivienne's ex-fiancé. Notorious for corporate espionage. The villain, he realized. He's come to ruin us both. That night, in the privacy of his study, Elias confronted Vivienne. Damien Harrow is here, he said. Tears welled in her eyes. He threatened to expose my father's lawsuit, claiming the orphanage is a money-laundering front. I thought I could protect everyone by keeping you in the dark. Elias's heart ached. Why didn't you tell me? She looked away. Because I was afraid you'd hate me. His voice softened. We'll face this together. As they embraced, the portrait of Lady Hawthorne above the fireplace shimmered. Under the gilded frame, a hidden inscription gleamed. Only love that conquers lies may claim the true heir. Elias traced the words. This was never just a fortune. There's a test. Vivienne gasped. The family legend. My father tried to destroy his will, thinking it a curse. Over the next days, Hawthorne Hall turned into a battleground of trust. Damien circulated rumors that Vivienne had stolen the locket, and with it, control of Elias's mind. Invitations to high society dinners carried rumors slipped into champagne flutes. In private, Elias pressed Vivienne for proof of her innocence. She opened her safe, revealing stacks of Hawthorne family letters she'd discovered buried by her own father, letters showing her family's misguided vendetta. Her family fought mine out of pride, Elias realized, sorrow lacing his voice. Never wanted to hurt you, Vivienne whispered. He cupped her face. I know now. Yet doubt festered. Late one evening, Elias received an urgent summons to the sanctuary wing. There, by candlelight, he found the locket shattered on the floor, and the faded photo torn in two. Vivienne stood over it, tears glistening. I can explain. He backed away. I thought I knew you. Locked in the sanctuary's chapel, Vivienne's voice trembled as she recounted Damien's ploy. He'd bribed her assistant to steal the locket and stage the scene, hoping to drive a wedge between her and Elias. Her confession cracked Elias's resolve. I almost believed him. Vivienne opened her palm, the assistant's ledger, filled with false invoices and coded messages to Damien. He read each page, chest tightening. You kept this to protect me. Tears spilled from Vivienne's eyes. Because I love you. Elias's breath hitched. The love I thought I'd lost. Rediscovered. He swept her into his arms. Their lips met in a promise of unity. As they embraced, the chapel bells rang, an unscheduled toll. Rushing to the belfry, they found Damien's men rigging the bells to collapse the tower, hoping to bury the secret chamber beneath. Vivienne pushed Elias aside. We have to stop them, he nodded. Together. They burst through the chapel, doors, hearts hammering as the masked figure's gun glinted in the dim light. Elias lunged forward, yet before he could tackle the intruder, the figure staggered, clutching their chest. A soft gasp revealed the mask slipping away. It was Genevieve Kensington, Elias's long-lost sister thought dead after the family scandal years ago. My sister? Vivienne knelt beside her, pressing a trembling ear to Genevieve's lips. They lied to you. The fortune. The promise. Genevieve's words sputtered out before she collapsed. Elias caught her, shock coursing through his veins. Why is she here? On the chapel floor lay a soaked parchment, Genevieve's final message. Elias pried it loose. It was the missing codicil to Lady Hawthorne's will, hidden in invisible ink. To the true heirs of love and sacrifice, only when all bonds are tested shall the Hawthorne legacy pass. Elias's breath caught. This codicil validates our union. But there's more. Vivienne's fingers brushed a second note, scrawled in trembling script. Beware the serpent in the rose garden. He seeks to claim the locket's power. Serpent? Elias felt Vivienne's hand tighten around his. Suddenly, the chapel windows shattered. Damien Harrow stormed in, flanked by armed guards. You think you've won? He snarled. The codicil is fake, planted to mislead you. Vivienne stepped forward, voice unsteady but resolute. No, it's real. Damien laughed, tossing a second parchment onto the floor. Elias recognized the Hawthorne seal, yet the ink glowed silver in the candlelight. All who wed without memory shall forfeit their claim. Elias froze. Our marriage, two strangers, no shared memories? A hush fell. Vivienne's tears caught the candlelight. We did forget. Elias's world tilted. The chapel's shattered windows rattled in the storm's fury. Rain pelted the stained glass like shattered jewels. Elias scrambled over Genevieve's form, heart pounding. A crack of thunder split the night as Damien Harrow's soldiers advanced. Their boots echoed on the marble floor. Vivienne stepped forward, voice trembling but fierce. You'll never take us! A rifle barrel swept toward her. Elias dropped beside her, pushing her behind a pew. Protect her at any cost, he vowed. Hurled. Through a secret passage by the organ's hidden lever, Elias and Vivienne tumbled down a narrow corridor beneath Hawthorne Hall. Walls dripped with damp earth. Their breaths came in ragged gasps. "We're trapped," Vivienne panted, dusting off her gown. Ahead, the tunnel forked. One path led toward the old wine cellar, the other toward the estate's catacombs. Elias peered into the darkness. "We must stall them. We must survive." He grasped her hand. This way. They pressed on, hearts thunderous, as distant shouts and gunfire echoed from above. A deafening crash shook the corridor. Part of the tunnel's ceiling caved in, blocking their path and scattering rubble. Vivienne coughed, choking on dust. Elias shielded her. Behind them, Damien's men chased. One guard raised his lantern, illuminating the debris. Elias looked to Vivienne. "Run! I'll hold them." "No!" she cried, tears blurring her vision. "We face this together." He forced her toward a narrow side shaft. "I swear I'll find you." Vivienne pressed a trembling hand to his cheek. "I choose him over. My own safety." She slipped into the side shaft as the guard's footsteps thundered closer. Elias backed away, scanning for an escape. A hidden trapdoor lay half-buried beneath shattered stones. He yanked it open, revealing a spiral well plunging into blackness. He hesitated. If I jump, I might never see her again. But as the guards rounded the tunnel's bend, guns raised, he dove into the well. Elias fell through silence, the air rushing past. He landed in cold water far below, submerged in ink-blue darkness. He surfaced, lungs burning, and stood in a flooded crypt lined with ancient caskets. The water rose to his waist. Candles flickered on alcove walls, though no flame touched them. Above, stones shifted. The trapdoor slammed shut. The tunnel collapsed. "I'm alone." His heart pounded as he grasped a mossy column, save Vivienne. Above, Vivienne stumbled through, winding shafts, her gown torn, lantern swinging. She reached an iron gate, but it was locked, the key dangling just out of reach. Damien's voice slithered from the darkness. "Give me the locket, and you live." Vivienne shook her head, tears glinting. "You'll never have it." Bootsteps approached. Vivienne's breath caught. She retrieved the locket, pressing it to her chest. "I'll protect our bond, even if it costs me everything." Elias awoke beneath the water, lungs aflame, panic surging. He kicked toward the surface, each stroke an agony of ice-cold pressure. "I can't lose her." At last he burst forth, coughing salt water as fragmented candlelight danced on the ceiling. He scrambled up wet stones, blood pounding in his ears. Above, Vivienne pressed herself against the iron gate, the locket's broken halves heavy in her palm. Rainwater dripped from her hair, mingling with tears. "He'll come for me." A key clanged in the lock. Damien's boot creaked on stone. She braced herself. Elias found a hidden lever etched with the Hawthorne rose emblem. He yanked it, and the floor beneath Vivienne shuddered, opening a plank that dumped her into a cascade of rushing water. "Vivienne!" he roared, leaping after her. She tumbled into the torrent, arms flailing. His hand closed around her wrist just as darkness swallowed them both. They emerged in a flooded crypt, Vivienne unconscious in Elias's arms. He laid her on dry stone, cradling her head, heart shattering as her chest rose but faintly. "Stay. With me." Lightning flickered through cracks in the ceiling, illuminating her pale face. The locket's two halves lay on the floor, powerless without their bond. Damien appeared at the crypt's entrance, gun drawn. His shadow loomed over Vivienne. "Goodbye, Dr. Kensington," he sneered. Elias rose, shielded her body, voice trembling. "Let her go." Damien's finger squeezed the trigger. Late dawn light filtered through the cracked chapel windows, illuminating the shattered locket on the stone floor. Vivienne knelt beside it, fingers trembling as she fitted the two halves together. This was never a curse, but a bond. Elias rose, holding Genevieve gently as she stirred from unconsciousness. Her eyes flickered open, confusion melting into recognition. "Eli, you came." He pressed her hand. "Always." Vivienne's breath caught. "The codicil. Is it real?" Elias produced the invisible ink parchment, now visible in the morning glow. She read aloud in a trembling voice. "Only those who remember love's first promise may claim the Hawthorne legacy." A choir of distant voices. The Hawthorne trustees, alerted by Genevieve's earlier message, poured into the chapel. Gasps filled the air as they beheld the reunited siblings and the restored locket. Lord Westbrook, the eldest trustee, cleared his throat. "Miss Hart, Dr. Kensington, you have proven love and sacrifice. The fortune and the estate belong to you." Vivienne's lips trembled into a smile. "Our memories, our truth." Damien Harrow, flanked by 2 officers of the law, was marched through the chapel doors. His smug smirk faltered as he saw the sealed trunk. "Your schemes end here, Harrow," Elias said, voice cold but steady. Vivienne opened the trunk. Inside lay stacks of forged deeds, blackmail letters, and proof of Damien's corporate espionage. Each document bore his signature, every plot unmasked. The lead officer read the evidence aloud. "Damien Harrow, you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and attempted murder." As handcuffs clicked shut, Damien's face went ashen. He glared at Vivienne. She raised the restored locket before him. "You underestimated the power of true love." In the rose garden at sunset, petals drifting like confetti, Elias guided Vivienne to a marble bench beneath the ancient oak. The air was sweet with jasmine and promise. He dropped to one knee, heart thundering. "Vivienne Hart, my stranger, my savior, my childhood sweetheart. Will you renew our vows, this time by choice, by memory, by love?" Tears glistened in her eyes. "Yes," she whispered, voice wavering with emotion. He slipped a new ring, crafted from the molten silver of the original locket, onto her finger. "The circle is complete." Vivienne placed her hand on his chest, feeling the steady drum of his heart. "I remember every moment." Elias smiled, warm as dawn. "And I will spend every day making new memories with you." Under a sky of shimmering stars, Hawthorne Hall awoke to a new era. The orphanage's doors opened wider. The sanctuary became a school. Genevieve took her place at the estate's helm, ensuring justice and compassion. Elias resumed his work at the city hospital, funding medical outreach in Vivienne's name. Vivienne, once defiant and guarded, now showed the world her vulnerable heart, leading charities, helping orphans as his equal partner. And high above in the oak tree's hollow, the music box played on, a reminder that love, once sown in innocence, blossoms through sacrifice and truth. Moral lesson. True inheritance is not built on gold or titles, but on the courage to trust, the willingness to sacrifice, and the memory of love's first promise. Did this story touch your heart? Share your favorite moment in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales of love, fate, and redemption on Swoon Stories.